All right, well, a quick recap of your education. You all might remember. I'm going to start about grade 5, because honestly I can't remember below that. You remember grade 5, you got math 5, science 5, arts 5, socials 5, PE 5, you know. What? Grade 6, math 6, science 6, arts 6, social 6, PE 6. You know, and then you get on all the way up into grade 10, and you're, you know, at that point, you know, they make it easier on you. They say, hey, make a choice for the rest of your life. You got physics, chemistry, geology, you know, you take the English, history, literature route, or PE was your strong point, you take shop, woodwork, cafeteria. And then after that you graduate, and well, probably about midway through here, if you wait till that point, you might have to wait a year, but then your options are you can take the university route, your training institute, or you can go straight into the workforce, and nice and fun little options there. If you take the university route, you know, you take the university route, and right away they ask you, you know, declare your Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, you know, and then declare your major, chemistry, physiology, English. You know, if you take the training institute, you may be a marketing, plumber. Then you become on to go on a doctor, or maybe you just jump around someplace. My name is Dan Grice, and I want to talk to you about the state of our education. I don't know if this graph that I just showed you sounded familiar. Most likely did. This is basically your life to this point. I don't know. Just as a quick question, how many of you guys actually went on to? Did any of you guys take university before going here? Okay, there's a couple. Yeah. I actually see more hands than I expected, and some are kind of like. So did I. I did 4 years at UBC, and now I'm here as well. And you know, the thing is, this is the one thing I want to talk about. I showed you this nice little confusing chart up there, but really, I think it is kind of funny. And why are we laughing at something when education is that important to our future? It really is. And one of the things that I really see about that is you see they're all segmented. You know, you got your math course here, you got your science course, you got your arts course, you got your PE, and throughout your lower grades, it's these independent classes. And a lot of people get stuck up. They have trouble. You know, if you get trouble in math, you hate math from grade 5 on, 6 on, 7 on, 8 on. You might really find yourself not. You go to one class, you go to another class. The teachers don't have a connection between the two. Your courses, they're teaching you one subject. You remember as far as the final exam, and that's basically your knowledge base. It's really not the way that really, if you consider an education what it's supposed to be. It's kind of pumping these things into you. It's injecting them straight into your vein, and it's kind of backwards in the way that we should be talking about it. If you look at later levels, and if you've ever gone on to college, you know, you'll find people getting an engineering degree or a doctorate degree who've got very little communication skills whatsoever. You might have people in maybe the marketing department or have gone to this who don't know the value of research and hitting up the library and actually having to go into like journals. So it's really disconnected all these kind of fields. And so I think that's a really big problem. So one of the things I think that the education system needs to change, and this is the first point I would like to make, is we need to replace subject with skill focus. Instead of having all these independent paths that have no connection together, we need to focus more on what skills we're learning throughout our course of education. Because that's what the real importance is. We have the skills research, we have communication, we have problem solving, we have survival, and we have fitness. And really, there's other ones too, and these are just kind of a breakdown. And I'm not quite sure exactly what the exact skills we want, but it still needs to move on away from this. As we get into other things, you know, we need to move away from this disconnected theory of subjects, and we need to link them up, you know. Math on its own is nice, but most people say, you know, I'll never use calculus again, I'll never use... The thing is, you do. You just never get the relevance out of it. And you have people going into the sciences, you know, I have no use for literature. And it's false, you know. We need to have this connection. We need to have subjects that interlocked. The last thing I want to talk about is in the post-secondary education as well. We can't have just people being pumped out. It's not a squirt gun trying to get you out of here. It's really more important than that. You know, we need to integrate these academics and these skills. We need to make it easier to move from diplomas to degrees, so you're not just stuck in one course, and if you have to make that decision to go to university right off the bat, or you go to the diploma route, you're forced so early on to make these decisions that you really just don't get the full benefit of it. And you kind of moved on to go right into university right afterwards, a lot of us. We don't have a chance to take a break because we just have to get on in life. That's the only way we're going to get someplace, or you got to get your diploma. And if you don't, you know, some people manage to come back later on and take it, but a lot of people just get really stuck up and don't go on with these skills in life. And we also need to have things like ethics and community involvement that are going to be really important structures to kind of live. You can't go just learning one thing without learning these practical skills. And I think that this is going to be a huge problem. Now, of course, there's going to be people who object. They're going to have to change their curriculum. It's going to be costly. Teachers are going to have to re-educate themselves. The educators are going to have to learn again. And it's really important that we realize that just because there's challenges doesn't mean we can't look for these solutions. You know, universities are going to cry, hey, this is my academic freedom. We need to be able to do the things we've been doing for 400 years. You know, we've done a lot of stuff in 400 years, and things have changed. And things need to change. So how do we get there? I just want to make you picture picture where we want to get. We want to get students who come out of there feeling confident, feeling that throughout all levels of education that they've really learned these skills, they've really developed these things. Picture yourself having a lot more skills to make these choices, making it easier to figure out which path you're going, instead of having to pick this roadmap where you have to circle and fill in your application and that's the rest of your life, or that's where you're kind of engraved at that point. And so one of the things I think, first of all, we need to do in order to get to this point that we can imagine here is we need to have a province-wide conference. We need to bring on teachers, students, and employers. And the one thing I really don't want to see brought on is administrators, politicians, or like the union leaders, because these are people who've all got a set agenda for keeping things set in stone. These aren't people who are going to be open to new ideas, who are going to be listening. These are going to be people who want to talk. And we don't need talkers. We really need to examine what these skill bases that we're going to do is. And so I'd like to see all of you, and this is something that's going to be a long process, but our future's dependent on it, and we have this opportunity as we move forward, not just to save our education, but to learn to make it better, to make it for future generations, for our own kids when we have them, that we know that they're going to be able to face this modern century with the skills that they need. And so we all need to learn on this basis, and I hope you guys will embrace this and move on and make sure that people know that there is an opportunity for change. Thank you very much.